Have you ever seen these ninja Pokemon in Pokemon Go before? I bet you haven't. I actually bet you haven't seen any of the insane glitches that we're looking over in today's video. Listen, Pokemon Go has been around for 8 years, right? That is a long time. And in that time, there have been countless glitches from weird-looking Pokemon to accidental bans for doing nothing. Today, we're checking out some of the best. Starting with quite possibly the rarest Pokemon to ever exist in the entire game. Back in May of 2019, a 10-day event went live where players could catch Detective Pikachu for the first time ever. Although Pikachu technically could be shiny at the time, this special costume version could not. Until a couple of 9,000 IQ players found a glitch that would create an anomaly. Since this Pokemon could be encountered in field research, a few smart players saved 3 encounters for after the event ended. Once it did, the shiny Pikachu was technically turned back on, and a handful of insanely lucky players actually got the shiny Detective Pikachu. There was an estimated less than 5 of these in the entire world. This was until October of 2023 when Detective Pikachu came back for a limited time with its shiny finally available for everyone. In September of 2022, one of the wildest team leader glitches ever happened. I mean, look at these things, bro. This actually happened at the same time that the team leaders got a rather unfortunate makeover, and honestly, they look better in their glitched form. Definitely something that crawls out from under your bed during a nightmare, though. This is spooky. During the Shinization release in September of 2024, the shiny model was turned off, which meant players were encountering Shinization that looked like a regular one. Niantic support quickly tweeted, "Trainers, we are investigating a visual issue affecting Shinization, causing the shiny Pokemon to appear with the shiny animation but the standard color. Note that this is not impacting the shiny appearance rate or other shiny related features like Pokedex transfer warnings." So players who did encounter the shiny did in fact get it, and the bug was just the visual one. But it must have been super confusing the way that was happening. During the Halloween update of 2023, a few new shadow Pokemon were released, including Drillbur, and with it, a really interesting visual glitch, as shown by JT Gilly in his video. All shadow Pokemon have the red eyes to show they've been pretty much possessed, so that visual update was accidentally applied to all Drillbur, not just the shadow ones. Back in September of 2023, the world's #1 player, Fleece King, tweeted a terrifying video showing one of the wildest character glitches ever. A floating head. And not just any floating head, an absolutely terrifying one with no eyeballs and like an open mouth. Nightmare fuel. And if you looked in the bottom left corner of the screen, you can see his character there is also glitched, which is actually reminiscent of a previous glitch from 2016 with the same character model head floating in the sky. Honestly, if I looked at my phone and that's what I saw my character look like, I would throw my phone. Have you ever seen a screenshot or a video of Pokemon Go in landscape mode? This is not some tricky AI edit. This is an actual glitch, and one that was very easy to do for a while there. All you had to do was simply turn your phone, as if you were watching a video and your game would switch to landscape mode, which looked amazing. I do really wish this was an actual feature because I would definitely play like this. At the time, I was actually working on a video where I played in landscape mode for 24 hours, except there were a few key issues. The game would get stuck during windows like catching Pokemon or spitting Pokestops, and you would have to reload and re-enter the glitch. So it wasn't super playable in landscape, but it definitely looked great. In January of 2024, a very random glitch was happening with certain wild encounters, where players would find one gender in the wild, but encounter the other gender after clicking on it. Like JT Gilly, finding a female combi in the wild, but then encountering a male when clicking on it. And this was happening with every Pokemon that had gender differences. It wasn't game-breaking by any means, but definitely made for a little surprise if you noticed. Feels like an April Fool's joke. While the Trainer Club was exploring Seoul, South Korea, he experienced a fun little visual glitch. Innocent little visual glitches like this are definitely some of the most fun. Brings a little laughter to your day. But a glitch that did the opposite was the costume hatch glitch, where you would hatch costume Pokemon and it would do a little costume animation, but there would be no costume on the Pokemon until after the hatch animation was complete. This had no real effect on the Pokemon. It would still have the costume on it after, but it took a little bit of the pizzazz out of hatching. And to my knowledge, this glitch does still happen every once in a while. In late 2023, one of the more interesting visual glitches occurred. Ninja Pokemon. For some reason, texture models for specific Pokemon wouldn't load properly for some players, resulting in this cool looking ninja Pokemon. Obviously, this was just a visual glitch, but it would go super hard as a costume for some ninja themed update or collaboration event in the future. Not sure what that would be, but if all Pokemon looked like this, I would definitely be out hunting them. Recently, buddy Pokemon exploded onto the gameplay map. Randomly one day, people's buddy Pokemon just became huge. And I mean huge, like taking up your entire screen, which honestly looked kind of sick. This was quickly fixed, but if there was a berry that you could feed your Pokemon and make it huge, I'd use it. Imagine walking an egg and hatching a legendary Pokemon. This is a feature we've been predicting since the start of the game 8 years ago. Legendary eggs would absolutely be incredible and they would definitely get people out walking. And they almost did in early 2024. A Japanese player tweeted this insane screenshot of their 7-kilometer egg pool, which included both baby Pokemon and Rayquaza. What an egg! And this actually wasn't the only wild Pokemon showing up in the hatch pool at the time. Apparently, due to a glitch, Pichu was showing up as any random Pokemon in the eggs. This was fixed fairly quickly, but it definitely got a couple of people's hearts absolutely racing, and we're still to this day waiting for the legendary egg. I would gladly walk 100 kilometers for a legendary Pokemon. Or would that be with a super incubator? Forget it. I would walk. The poor avatars have absolutely gone through it during 2024 with the visual update that feels like one big accidental glitch. Unfortunately, it's not, but this trainer's arms were, which was actually a super random Twitter response to a tweet where I caught a Pokemon in a Master Ball. But apparently at the time, if you put a short sleeve shirt or a sleeveless shirt on your character, its arms would literally disappear. This feels like a Fortnite skin or somebody like wearing a green screen sleeve. Imagine with me for a second. You walk outside, you find a Pokemon, you catch it, you get banned. That's what happened to tons of players in November of 2023. Out of the blue, people's accounts were getting murked for seemingly no reason. And after players began to reach out to Niantic about it, the shocking details were revealed. Players were banned for using the quick catch strategy, which is something everyone does, especially after playing consistently for a few years. Luckily though, Niantic mentioned that this was completely unintentional and players should not be getting banned for doing this, and they quickly reinstated everyone's account and life went on fine. Although at the time we all were super nervous that this was the start of Niantic for some reason banning quick catching in-game. Technically, quick catching is a glitch, so I'm glad that it's here to stay for now. Right after the game released in 2016, a really interesting Easter egg occurred with the eggs. Players were apparently seeing this description when going to incubate. Hatch this egg by feeding it butter. It likes all kinds of butter. Every kind. The best kind. What does that even mean, bro? At the time, it was suspected that this was an accidental release, like some sort of sneak peek for an upcoming update that would use butter to hatch eggs. This was super weird and apparently only happened very rarely when the egg's hatch distance showed as complete, but only showed 2/3 complete when clicking in on the egg. And this honestly feels like some sort of like super niche Easter egg by a very mischievous developer. In September of 2024, one of the most game-breaking PvP glitches was revealed by YouTuber PokeAK that allowed you to literally see your opponent's team and movesets. Basically how it worked was by using a Discord bot. This bot would send you a message right as your battle would start, giving you the insider scoop on what Pokemon and moves your opponent had. In this video, he showed this working in a private match, and the bot gave super accurate info including the full team of Pokemon, their CP, and the charge and fast attacks. And since this isn't as blatant as previous GBL glitches, it's nearly impossible to tell when a player is using this. And there was no information on how many people knew about it or how many people might actively be using it. There also was no official word from Niantic, but they possibly adjusted their code so that the Go Battle League information wasn't available to people like hackers with Discord bots. Either way, a scary glitch for everyone who takes PvP seriously, especially those trying to get to the World Championships. Speaking of game-breaking glitches, or kind of hacks, back in August of 2022, there was apparently a hack that players could use to get guaranteed excellent throws. This software is part of popular spoofing apps that many hackers have used over the years, which is against the terms of service, so watch out before trying to do this. This is a 1000 XP bonus for every single Pokemon caught. Think about that. No wonder why spoofers are able to level up so quickly. And apparently this feature has been available for literally years and might still be available today, which is really unfair for the rest of us. But hey, I don't know about you, but I definitely do not need software to help me hit excellent throws, you know what I'm saying? Now those glitches might have been crazy, but these two videos are even crazier. Click them quickly and I'll see you in there.